Toast Bites Chomp.
Hello, friendly gamers! Welcome to another mini edition of Toast Bites, where I highlight cool indie games I played by genre or theme. Minis are smaller than Toast Bites, hence the name, so expect a quick rundown of each game instead of my usual in-depth reviews. If you want to know more about them, you'll just have to play them yourselves. And today we're looking at games that are all style and substance, so let's get into it. And remember, some of these games are works in progress, so what you see may not reflect the final release.
Number 1.
If you're a fan of my channel, you'll know I'm a huge fan of the video game and 3D animation and VFX school Is Art Digital based in France, because the games their students create never cease to impress me with their artistic vision and polish. Developed for the PC and Switch, Symphonia lives up to that legacy and is my favorite example yet. A beautifully directed blend of hand-drawn art and traditional animation, it's a 2D platformer where you play as a feathered virtuoso, reviving a musical world with the aid of your bow. Where most platformers emphasize level traversal, Symphonia crafts a living environmental story with sound woven into the gameplay and architecture. Each area flows into the next with a fierce attention to detail in the foreground and back, offering a glimpse into the virtuoso's destiny as you play the violin and awaken the stage. Now don't worry about getting frustrated or bored if platforming isn't your cup of camo. The game is incredibly short, clocking in at around half an hour for me, and the platforming is pretty forgiving, so no whittling away at your life attempting the same jump over and over again. In short, Symphonia is an inspired musical experience I think everyone will love, with the only complaint being that there isn't more of it. And best of all, it's free. You can download Symphonia right now on itch.
Number 2.
When I mention full motion video, you may think back to hokey horror gems the likes of Night Trap, which famously triggered the birth of the ESRB. FMV games generally get a bad rap because they're almost always executed poorly, if not hilariously, so I was surprised to see a new game using it in a way that had me intrigued thanks to its surreal visual style. Described by the developer as a neon noir / synthwave FMV road trip to nowhere, Road to Nowhere is a point-and-click dive into the story of Cole Bishop, whose life spirals out of control following a scandal. The teaser demo was only about 20 minutes long, yet it was enough to endear me to the developer's retro aesthetic and how they blend the spirit of an art house film with the interactivity of a pack. The voice acting was decent, the dialogue hinted at a dark human story I'd want to explore, and I give a special nod to the music and sound design. But let's be real, FMV games can be a bit clunky, and they're either your thing or they're not. Still, I think Road to Nowhere has the potential to overcome some of the drawbacks of the genre with its unique presentation, as long as it nails the story, which is planned to have multiple endings. Either way, with an expected release late in 2020, it looks to be a curiously alluring gaming experience, and I'm eager to see how it all comes together in the end. You can check out the demo for Road to Nowhere right now on Steam.
Number 3.
Papetura is an atmospheric puzzle-adventure game handcrafted entirely out of paper. In it, you play as Pape and Tora as they embark on a journey to face the monsters burning down their world, and I can't say I've seen anything quite as visually striking in a very long time. I don't know much about the game, including if I'm even pronouncing it right, and the teaser demo is incredibly short, offering but a few minutes of gameplay that introduce you to the characters, the world's intricate paper designs, and the organic nature of the puzzles, which blend into the world and inform the narrative. Still, it doesn't take more than a few minutes to recognize a diamond in the rough. An appreciation for the properties of paper and light were apparent in every frame, making the art style as skillful as it is imaginative. And there's no dialogue, with the developer choosing instead to tell the story through sound and animations, which for me came across well in the little bit I played. Point blank, from the music to the direction, Papetura is clearly a labor of love, and may be the next indie gem powerhouse for gamers drawn to this level of passion, assuming the gameplay does the paper artistry justice. I'm very excited to see the full release, which should be coming soon, but you can download the demo for yourself right now on Steam.
Number 4.
I can't make a list about art styles without including a game that's just styled art. Redditum is a point-and-click where you travel through what the developer calls interactive illustrations bound by music. It was originally a graduation project, though the devs are working on a vertical slice of a more robust version of the game, and there isn't much more to say other than it was lovely to look at and play. I won't pad out this entry for a game that, in its current state, is only a few minutes long, and could be seen as more of an animated short, so I'll end this by saying that even if you aren't a gamer, you'll get a kick out of it. The artwork is super colorful and lively, and the character designs are refreshingly weird, like something straight out of Adventure Time. So go ahead and check out Redditum for free right now on itch.
Number 5.
When I talk about art style, it isn't just about the way the game looks, but also the way it plays and how that ties into its looks. Montage is an elegant example of that and how to do it right. It's a 3D puzzle game where you explore a fragmented world trapped in a cube, interacting with different spaces on each side to unlock new details, new areas, and slowly reveal the story. The imagery leans more towards the simple, low-poly aesthetic common in a lot of indie fare, but the way the game uses perception and illusion to bring each slice of the world together is nothing short of radiant. Meaning, while other games on this list are beautiful in their artwork, Montage is beautiful in its execution. I enjoyed every second of the demo, and it brought me such joy each time I solved a puzzle that frankly, I'm mad more people haven't heard of this game. There's no release date posted for the full version yet, but the demo took around 30 minutes to complete, and I guarantee when you finish it, you'll want more. So go forth and download Montage right now on GameJolt.
Number 6.
Rosen Locket is an action-packed adventure game set in the Wild West that follows the story of Rose, a gunslinger on a journey to the underworld to save her daughter's soul. The teaser was so short I may run out of footage before I finish this entry, so I'll keep it snappy and say that the game is a stylish interplay between cinematic animations and combat. Think Samurai Jack if it were a game and he were a cowgirl. It's also fully voiced with phenomenal music. The Rosen Locket is a work in progress, but what the developers have accomplished so far makes me optimistic about where it's headed, and I want to see more. So why not show them some love and download the tiny alpha demo right now on GameJolt.
Number 7.
Since I want to feature games I've come across that are entirely new to me, I don't know if sequels to games I featured on Toast Bites before should qualify. I'm sure I'll decide down the road, but for now, Figment, Creed Valley deserves a spot. A follow-up to the whimsical yet meaningful Figment, an adventure game set in the mind, Creed Valley features a return to the world to conquer new nightmares with fresh mechanics and more vibrant locations. The game features a self-contained story exploring themes of belief and morality with the same quirky designs, clever puzzles, and fully voiced musical charm as the first game. Basically, if you loved Figment, you'll love Figment Creed Valley. And it's set to release sometime in early 2021, but you can check out the demo right now on Steam.
Number 8.
I often find myself lamenting that I don't cover more card-based games, so when I clicked on Iris and the Giant, I was pleasantly surprised to discover that it wasn't what I thought. It's a story-driven, roguelike, turn-based deck-building card battle game with RPG elements, and I know that sounds like a lot, but when you try it, it'll all make sense. You play as Iris, a sullen girl facing down her demons, as you revisit painful memories and uncover the sadness behind the adventure playing out in her mind. With its muted, complementary color palette and a minimalist, softly shaded style dotted with sketchy, semi-watercolor accents, the game has more of a modern cartoon aesthetic, oozing charm in its character designs and even the icons in the UI. Now, the mechanics are easy to follow. You clear each stage of enemies by playing different cards that attack, boost stats, or grant special moves. And you can also upgrade and customize your character to suit your taste. Each win treats you to more of the story, offering an incentive to see the battles through, and I think the fair difficulty as well as the fast pace of each stage would keep the game enjoyable even for people typically bored by anything turn-based or having to do with cards. I was completely wrapped up in the demo and played it more than once with different customization because it was just that fun. I only wish I got to see more of the story between each battle, but maybe the ratio of story to gameplay feels different in the full version of the game. Beyond that, it's an unexpected breath of fresh air, and I worry that people who stumble across it may not give it a chance because they see it's a card game and bow out. Don't make the same mistake. Try the demo for Iris and the Giant on GameJolt, or buy the full game, released to stellar reviews back in February on Steam.
Number 9.
Made by the same folks who brought us My Time at Portia, or Portia, a delightful RPG I played when it was just a wee bab that's since exploded with content and become incredibly popular in its own right, Ever Forward is an open-world-ish puzzle game where you travel between reality and fantasy as Maya, unlocking her memories. And the game is Puzzle AF, becoming more challenging as you progress, and more gratifying. It's a no-frills experience providing self-contained obstacles that don't overstay their welcome, rewarding you with a stylized glimpse into Maya's backstory each time you progress. Those skillfully voice-acted flashbacks and the story they tell added a lot to my engagement, and the stripped-down mirror's edge aesthetic of the puzzle areas, contrasted with the vibrant lushness of the fantasy world, made the game visually appealing to me, even if each aesthetic taken on its own wasn't exactly new. The characters' animations were also very smooth and nuanced in a way that prompted me to run around doing things just to see her move. While Everforward isn't a groundbreaking game, it's a satisfying one that I really wanted to finish. Luckily, the demo allows you to play nearly half of the full game, with save files supposedly carrying over into the final version, which is slated to be released soon. I'd recommend giving it a shot if you like brain teasers and piecing together cool sci-fi narratives that seem kind of ominous. So head on over and download the prologue demo for Everforward on Steam.
Number 10.
If you're looking for an incredible MC Escher-inspired experience, I'd recommend Fragments of Euclid, a game I featured on my channel well over a year ago that's still one of my favorites. But if you just want a touch of that Escher aesthetic underpinning a smaller, simpler outing, I'd say Chalkboard fits the bill. It's a short, relaxing game where you solve puzzles by drawing on chalkboard to cut out parts of the space. And while there isn't much more to it in terms of mechanics, the pencil-sketched artwork remnant of Inked, another wonderful game I featured before, makes Chalkboard a calming treat for the eyes. The puzzles aren't difficult, and the gently animated solutions are lovely, so consider Chalkboard a brief, meditative break from all the chaos that likely surrounds you, which is the bleakest thing I think I've ever said in one of these lists. You can download Chalkboard right now on itch. So, that's it for this episode of Toast Bites Minis, but you know the drill. You can watch more Toast Bites, or its sister series Toast and Jam, by clicking on those buttery playlists. I'll be back soon with another mini peek at even more great indie games for you to share. Until then, do be a darling and subscribe, like this video so the world knows you love it, and I'll see you on the plate!